70s theme at work today, so I'm not decked out in pilots, but so today's video is different for a couple of reasons. One being, I just started school. I'm in a program to become a medical assistant, and it is taking over my whole life. I love it, but it's taking over my whole life. Because of that, videos might be a little more sporadic. I do want to continue to make videos and theories and stuff. I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of things, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But as I'm kind of getting into the swing of school again, it may be a little all over the place, so bear with me. The other being, I'm busy today, but I still wanted to put a video out because it's been a minute. Every time I've done a live stream, I've gotten a lot of questions about myself and about Clique Theory in general and how the channel works, how I make theories, so I thought it would be a good idea to make a Q&A because I'm a real YouTuber. Maybe I'll do another if you have more questions. Probably not for a little while. Give it some time, do some more theories. So I asked for questions on Twitter and on the community tab on my channel, which if you haven't checked it, or if you don't, I don't really know how it works. I know that you can get like posts in your subscription thing. I don't know, man. I just got that feature. Zoe on Twitter, love you Zoe, asked, first song of the Pilots you ever heard. The first Pilot song I heard was actually Implicit Demand for Proof, because what happened was a friend of mine had suggested, I was asking for like a name for a story I was writing, and a friend suggested the word anathema. And I was like, that's a cool word. What does that mean? She told me what it meant and then said, it's the name of this 21 Pilots song, you should listen to it. And I didn't. But she was a big fan of 21 Pilots, and so I went, and what I did was I just listened to their entire discography in one sitting. I don't know. But I started with Implicit Demand, and right off the bat, I was sold. Like, that was it. I was like, I get it, I feel it, I love it, I'm into it. There's a lot of like religious guilt going on here, and I get it, I feel it, and I'm here for this. First song that really got you hooked was probably Implicit Demand. The other one I can think of is Guns for Hands, just because that's my favorite 21 Pilots song ever. Your first theory, ooh, that would have been, I don't know actually. Long before I started the channel, I was making theories about 21 Pilots, because I feel like that was the thing during the Blurryface era, is you theorized about what was going on. And so on Twitter, I would talk to some of my Clique friends about like thoughts that I had. I think the first one was I was very into the imagery and meaning behind Ride, which is one of the first theories on the channel that I did. And I had started that theory like months before, because I created the channel in November of 2016. I started listening to 21 Pilots in February of 2016. So long before I started like sharing my theories, I was making them. Favorite theory you've made? That's hard. Either the Ride theory, just because I'm still like proud of my predictions, and also proud of like the weird tangent that it inspired me to go on about like grappling for control with Blurryface being a big thing in the Blurryface album. But also I'm very proud of the chlorine theory I just did, and bath video. What theory was that? That was Heavy Dirty Soul. Yes, those two they're in my top favorites. I have so many. I have a notebook dedicated to Clique Theory now, and I just like every single like discovery I make and every thought that I have, I write it down. Favorite music video? My heart says Jumpsuit, just because of the like almost like nostalgic feeling I have for it. Zigzag17 on YouTube asked, who are some cool people you've met through YouTube and 21 Pilots? Well, I've met my best friends through 21 Pilots. Kayla is my best friend, she also lives in Arizona. We saw the Pilots Bandito tour together, and it was great. I also met my other friend, Sammy, at that show, who I'd been friends with since 2016, but we hadn't met. Love you, Sammy. I met my friend Alex. If you've been in any of the live streams, you've met Alex. She is the moderator of the chat during live streams. Alex lives across the country and she's flown out to Arizona like twice now to hang out with us, and it's the best. All my best friends I've met through 21 Pilots. What are some of your hobbies? Play the bass. I'm in a band, I sing and play the bass. What else do? I make theories. I write poetry sometimes. I write stories a lot. I'm really into videography, editing videos, making cool like film stuff. When I was a kid, I used to, whenever I was like really into a movie or a TV show or whatever, I would like try and recreate it myself. And I would drag my little sister into all my projects, and I did a Chronicles of Narnia once, and it was great. I did a Phantom of the Opera one, and it was great. It was terrible, but like I loved it. I loved like acting and making my own videos and editing. That's how I know how to edit videos and why I can edit so fast, is because when I was a kid, this was what I did with my time, is I made little movies. What are some of your favorite movies? My favorite of probably all time is Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. I was obsessed with that in high school. And Peter Pan. The animated Disney Peter Pan, that was my favorite movie as a kid. I would reenact it. When I was really little, like 3 or 4, and my grandpa would babysit me and my little baby sister, he would be Captain Hook and I would be Peter Pan, and we would like recreate the movie. Like I was into it. I was Peter Pan at Comic-Con a few years ago, and for Halloween, and like love Peter Pan. I'm a child, okay? I'm 22, but I'm a child. Other than 21 Pilots, who are some other bands and artists you like? I mean, here's one. Kayla and I saw them on tour last month, and I cried. Dollskin is a rock band from Phoenix that I love, and you have to listen to them now. That's your homework, is you gotta listen to Dollskin. Paramore, My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, you know, the emo staples. The Regrets, I really like. Billie Eilish, Of Monsters and Men, Mumford and Sons, Elton John, The Beatles, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, System of a Down. There's a lot. My taste in music is everywhere. And that's definitely not all of it, but that's the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Hipper Kipper on YouTube asks, who do you think you get your theorist bones from, other than the men in the Bandito Band? That's good. The men in the Bandito Band. I think a lot of it just comes from I'm a writer, not just with music, like I write songs, but I also write stories and stuff, and I always have. I've always been very into storytelling. So because I know that Tyler uses the music personally, like he says in Bandito, I created this world to feel some control. I get that because I also do that. I vent a lot through my writing. So I'm able to look at it from that perspective a lot easier. I'm able to tell what he might be trying to say. I also have ADHD, and they say that people with ADHD are more creative or whatever because we look at things differently. Maybe that, I don't know. Kayla texted me and asked, what is the true end of the saga in Taco Bell Saga? It isn't a metaphor for life itself. I'm gonna skip that one. Alex Thundermuffin on Twitter asks, how does 21 Pilots influence your own songwriting? To be honest, I didn't start writing my own songs until I found 21 Pilots. 21 Pilots literally inspired me to start writing my own songs. Because I discovered 21 Pilots early 2016, and I wrote my first song in March of 2016. How do you make theories? Does a theory pop into your mind and then you brainstorm to flesh it out? Or do you pick a song and say, what can I unpack about this? A little bit of both, actually. See, the Pilots make it very easy to just kind of like pick something and run with it because there's so much to absolutely everything that Tyler does. But at the same time, sometimes I'll just have thoughts and revelations as I'm talking about things with somebody. Like, I will text Kayla about the pilots, and then I'll just have a revelation like, wait, hang on. He writes about time so much. So it's a little bit of both. Most of the time, I just suddenly have a revelation and I'm like, wait, I gotta write about this right now before it's gone forever. I will also take things like motifs and metaphors and themes that he writes about a lot and kind of almost study how he writes about it. That's something that I'm extremely interested in, is the different metaphors that he uses in his writing, like cars and time, and what that means to him, how he writes about it, what we can draw from that. What do you predict comes after Trench? Continuation or something else? I know that the boys have said that they want to expand on it further, and I'm wondering, because Trench itself was an expansion of Blurry Face, but in a different capacity. Like, it was the themes and ideas of Blurry Face put into a new setting, into a new story. So I wonder if the next album is either going to be more about Trench, or if it's going to be taking these new themes and these new ideas that have grown off of Blurry Face into another setting, another story, another whatever. I don't know if the Trench story will be continued, but I know that what he's writing about, what Trench and Dima, what those things represent, what he's trying to say through those things, will continue to be written about. Because those are things that he's been writing about since day one. You can track these themes and metaphors way back to self-titled. I don't know what the next album's gonna be like, but I do know what we can expect thematically. You know, his writing has been on an upswing lately. Like, think self-titled is very dark and very sad, and it's kind of become lighter and more hopeful as he's continued on. Trench is by far the most hopeful album lyrically that Tyler's written. Like, there's a lot of growth that happened. Like, there are still some like moments that are very heavy and sad. Think Neon Gravestones, parts of Morph, Chlorine. But like, there's also a level of hope to it, that it's a lot less resigned to a fate of despair than some of the older music was. And I think we can expect it to keep getting more hopeful. I hope so. I hope that he continues to kind of grow in that way. Because of course you hope that. You hope that with everybody. It does look like it's gonna get more hopeful, and it's gonna maybe further some of these ideas in a more positive light, with a more optimistic lens, so to speak. I hope so. That's part of why I love Trench so much, is that so much growth has happened since even Blurry Face. Like, just comparing Goner to Leave the City, big step. Tyler, I'm proud of you. Is that too much? I don't know. Josh, I'm also proud of you. You should write a song on the next album. And that's all the questions I got. So thank you for asking. If you didn't, I will probably do another Q&A. So if you have questions, drop them in these comments. It may be a little while, but drop them here and I will answer them next time on Ask the Theorist. Somebody make a cool name for, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. Theories coming up. I'm not gonna tell you what they are, half because I don't know what they are. Until then, stay straight. Bye!